Welcome to this week's episode of Storytime. I'm really excited to share this book with you. It's called The Garden of Wisdom, Earth Tales from the Middle East. And it's all different folk tales about the earth, animals, plants. And it's edited by Michael J. Caduto, and it's illustrated by Odell Liphshiz. And the story that I want to read to you today is called Abu Hussein the Generous. And a lot of children's books, they have beautiful pictures. This has one picture, but it's mostly just words. And it would probably be better if I knew the story by heart, but I don't know it by heart yet. So I'm just going to read it, and I'll share the one picture that's in it with you. Otherwise, you have to make the pictures with your mind. Okay. Abu Hussein the Generous, and it's from Egypt. Abu Hussein the fox was trotting along a trail one day when he saw a raven perched in a tree. "Friend Raven," called Fox, "would you like to come and visit me? I will give you something good to eat." "Yes, I would like that," replied Raven. "Well, meet me at the rock in front of my den this evening," said Abu Hussein as he loped toward home. Once he arrived at his den, Fox began to prepare a meal of porridge for Raven. First, he put some camel's milk in a pot and boiled it slowly over the fire. So I'm used to a milk coming from a cow because of where I come from. But this story is from Egypt, and so those people get their milk from camels. When the milk was ready, he mixed in some flour and stirred until it thickened. Raven soon flew in and landed near Fox. "Hello," said Fox. "What are you making?" asked Raven. "Dinner," replied Abu Hussein. Raven, who was very hungry, watched as his friend prepared the meal. Once the porridge was done, Fox poured it out onto the flat rock on which he was standing. "Here's our meal," he said. "Eat well, my friend." Raven pecked and pecked at the porridge, but was barely able to eat a tiny morsel. The longer he tried, the more frustrated and hungry he became. Meanwhile, Abu Hussein used his tongue to lap up the porridge until his belly was full. "This foolish Abu Hussein," thought Raven. "What kind of friend is he? He knows I can't eat this way." "Abu Hussein," said Raven, in the friendliest manner he could manage, "you have been most generous and kind by inviting me for this fine meal. Please allow me to repay the favor and prepare a feast for you. I will provide as many sweet dates as you can possibly eat." Since sweet dates were absolutely Fox's favorite food, he became very excited. "Oh, most certainly," he cried. "Those dates grow so high in the date palms that I can only eat a few that fall on the ground and don't get eaten before I happen to find them." "Excellent," answered Raven. "Meet me at the base of my tree tomorrow at sunset." Raven then flew home. Abu Hussein arrived the following evening as the sun was dipping below the distant hills. He saw his friend Raven up in the date palm tree, silhouetted against the orange glow of a beautiful evening sky. "Well, I'm going to knock those dates down for you to eat," Raven called out to Fox. "Get ready to catch 'em." Raven started picking the sweet dates, but instead of knocking them down where Abu Hussein could reach them, he dropped them into the middle of a dense thorn bush. Fox ran in circles around the thorn bush in search of a way in to gather the dates, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not reach through the thorns to get them. And in a short time, his snout was cut up, his lips were red and swollen, and his paws were raw and bleeding from reaching into the thorns. Raven flew down from the tree. He used his hard beak and scaly claws to pluck one date after another amid the dense thorns. Soon he had eaten his fill. Raven sat back against the base of the date palm, wrapped his wings around his middle, and groaned with delight. At that moment, Abu Hussein realized what Raven had been doing. He realized that when he had made the porridge for Raven, he had not prepared it in a way that Raven could eat, and that Raven, his friend, was doing the same to him. Instead of looking upon his friend as an inferior who he could trick, Fox now regarded Raven as an equal, and Abu Hussein developed a deep respect for his friend. He realized that although Raven's ways were different from his own, they worked just as well to help him to survive. And from that day forth, when Fox invited Raven over for dinner, he made sure that Raven had a way to eat the porridge. And when Raven invited Fox over for dinner, he made sure that Fox had a way to eat the dates. Here's a picture. There's a photograph of a fox. It's a very interesting story. Maybe you can talk about it with whoever is around and see what you think about that story. Anytime. Anyway, see you next week. It's story time. Have a great week.